I've been thinking about getting another job. What do you think?
What job?
Maybe a caretaker.
Ooh.
Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is the Adipose, and we are here to review Doctor Who, The Caretaker. Is that an is?
Sorry?
Is that a screaming
I don't
is?
know what you're talking about.
I'm here with the beautiful, lovely, and calm Claripose, and if in the distance you may hear the subtle scream of is it a weeping angel?
3 times tonight.
Is it a weeping angel? Is it a Dalek? Is it
a weeping angel?
or a Cyberman? We were talking about The Caretaker.
Exclamation mark question.
Oh, yes.
I thought it was good. That was a statement rather than a question.
I don't know what that was. It was definitely definitive. You thought it was good. Why do you think it was good?
I liked well, there were things that I thought were good and things that I thought were not good. Do you want the whole review now or do you want it another time?
Yeah.
Do you think I should possibly go ask him?
I think I'm being a little bit distracted by the daughter at this precise second. So Doctor Who The Caretaker, I would love to have you guys contributing for tonight's episode. So if you've got something you'd like to say, something you liked about the episode, something you didn't like about the episode, and why don't you use exclamation mark question and then put your comment afterwards, and it'll appear on my screen and I'll be able to put it down here on the bottom. We're going to be joined hopefully by 3 people tonight. We're going to have Sam Ha is going to be joining us, Dash is going to be joining us, and Sophie Spud from last week is going to be joining us, as well as Clary as well. And it sounds like we might get Izzy joining us as well. So the gang's all here. Quite obviously, as we hear little Grizzle in the distance. So what did I think about The Caretaker? Well, obviously tonight was the gimmick was, can the Doctor fit in with human beings? Was kind of the question that was kind of put up repeatedly. But I think I'd suggest that he didn't really try.
The gang is back together.
The gang is back together. I think I would suggest he didn't really try. I think he very much just kind of went off and kind of did his own thing. But it was cool. He was grumpy. He was alien, he was elusive, he showed bizarre disdain for most humans and yet bonded with a rather obnoxious little schoolgirl, or disruptive influence, sorry, was the phrase given to her. And it was very much about the Doctor's ego versus Danny's ego, and it's bizarre that this is a sci-fi show about the end of the universe, about Daleks, about monsters, about killing, about destruction, about explosions, about time wars and stuff. When it all comes down to it, we love a good love triangle.
We do love a good love triangle. Even when it's a slightly confusing love triangle, and you're not quite sure who loves who in what way and why.
Exactly. Well, he used to be young, and there may have been a romantic thing or a slight flirtatious, but now he's not interested. He's separated from her, but all these feelings are confused.
And she loved him when he was young, and now he's old, and he may or may not love her.
I don't think he does, but I think he's still protective. I think that's why I'm reading it. Would you not read it like that?
I don't really know. I don't know what's going on, to be quite honest.
Would you like me to take Izzy?
Sorry?
Would you like me to take Izzy? She's probably happy where she is. I keep seeing something white behind me. It's my guitar from Guitar Hero, and I think that was essentially what tonight could have been. A man with a watch, and essentially I think that was tonight was what it was about. It was being built up for a while. It was about the Doctor meeting Danny Pink and them kind of trying to work out through their kind of issues. There was a robot baddie. But he didn't really have a lot to do. They didn't really flesh out his background. He basically kind of turned up to kind of blow things up. I saw someone say in the comments that they were while people were chatting that they're kind of so over robots. And I know what you mean. There are a lot of robots in Doctor Who, but I would say that tonight was for me was fine as a robot, because the enemy was. The show was not about the enemy. It was about kind of character development, and I've said this in previous reviews, but I think the characters this season have been done really well. I think that the Doctor is really an interesting character, and I think Clara has really snapped into this kind of strange, I want to carry on my own life, but I also have a responsibility to kind of work with the Doctor, and I love traveling with him and stuff. And Danny, I think Danny is an interesting character. He's clearly this.
I like Danny.
I like Danny. He's He's kind of charismatic. Clearly, something's happened in his soldier past. I don't know if that'll be investigated at some point, but he's also, kind of determined. But he's also kind of willing to kind of walk away as well. So you never quite know how long he's going to talk about. That's my view. What do you want? Do you want to chip in there? What do you think?
Do I need to use exclamation mark question?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, oh, that's what you're talking about. Sorry.
How did you think I was talking about?
I thought you were just sticking in like punctuation to make your words sound more interesting or something. I don't know.
You wrote, if you've got something interesting to say, use exclamation mark question.
Sorry.
That's what I was doing.
You should have raised your left hand to inform me that it was a joke.
Okay. Exclamation mark question.
Got it. Left hand. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, what did I think? My positives were.
Yeah.
I liked I always liked the whole Doctor trying to be human thing. I think it's funny. I'm trying to remember, was it the 10th Doctor or the 11th Doctor who did that and tried to have a game of football?
11th, that was Matt Smith. He became a lodger for a week.
Yeah, that was it.
With James Corden, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was cool. So I always like those kind of storylines. And this whole thing with Danny Pink has kind of been building for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of quite nice to see it kind of come to a bit of a head with the Doctor involved as well this week.
Yeah.
And kind of see how they respond to each other. I also like the fact that it addressed one of my, you know how like each week I say about Clara, yeah, but what if she's already eaten?
Yeah.
Or like, how is she not completely exhausted? Because like, it's all very well, like doing a day and then time traveling back and doing that day again.
Yeah.
But when does she sleep? And I like the way that that episode kind of addressed that by the fact that
she doesn't.
She doesn't. She's exhausted. She's too full up because she's eating 2 meals.
I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
She randomly comes back with a suntan.
Yeah.
After just walking out to the toilet.
Are you browner than you were before? Yeah.
So I thought that was quite good.
And possibly, do you remember when the Doctor kind of did that with Amy and Rory similarly a couple of series ago? And they kind of mentioned it interfering with their lives, but with Clara, he very much is interfering with her life, but she likes it, and it kind of develops.
However, I mean, the actual kind of storyline of the monster was kind of a bit non-eventful.
Yeah.
But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't need to be like about the monster.
Well, it wasn't. The episode wasn't about the monster. It was about the Doctor being the caretaker.
I would say that the baddie itself, I'm with the posse. I'm totally over robots that shoot things.
But I would rather they. I agree with you. I agree with you. But if they've got a really good idea for a baddie, I would like them to save that for an episode that's about the baddie, rather than slot it in as a quick. Do you know what I mean? I
do know what you mean. And part of me is kind of tempted to say, oh, yeah, I take your point. That episode wasn't really about the baddie. It could have been anyone. They could have had a big, fat green blob or whatever like that, because it doesn't matter. That's not what the episode is about. But is it not true that the truly great episodes will actually be great in both ways?
Is that not true that the truly great episodes will be great in both ways? Yes, I suppose so. So does that mean tonight's episode was not truly great? Yes, I would.
No, I'd say it's good, but was it truly great?
No, but it was good, and it was enjoyable, and it was fun. Let's get some of the opinions in. I'm going to call Sam Hargrave now. Any of you coming on the show over the next 20 minutes or so, could you make sure you mute your stream and listen to me through Skype so we're kind of nicely in time? And, I'll probably spend about 5 minutes with each of you. So, have a few things to kind of talk about, and it'd be great to get your views. I can see a whole bunch of you already have used exclamation mark question to put your comments up on the screen.
More appropriately than I did. Well done.
And we'll be doing those throughout the show. So, do absolutely, do that now. Hey Sam, how you doing?
Great. I really enjoyed tonight.
Hang on, I'm just going to turn up your volume a little bit so I can hear you better. Can you just count to 10 for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, thank you very much. That's cool. So what did you think of tonight's show, Sam?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it really showed how Doctor Who can vary. And that's something they've done well with series. Like, you can have episodes like Listen, and then Time Heist, and then this.
I agree with you completely. I think this series has been incredibly varied. From we've been historical, Robin Hood, we've been horror, kind of with Listen, we've been bank heisting in the future, I agree. Good point. This has been a very varied series and a good quality series so far. I don't think we've had a duff one yet. We've had some we liked less. Oh, I didn't like the Dalek one, but others did. So I don't think I can call that a duff one. Good point, Sam. What else?
I thought the Peter Capaldi's acting was really top notch. Some of the best Doctor acting we've ever had.
Do you think he's in love with Clara?
I think he's kind of. I don't think he is. I think he's trying to kind of hold on to her because he feels like he's kind of losing her a bit.
That's a fair one. Yeah, maybe it's more about kind of control and being like the most important man in her life, but not necessarily love.
And sometimes I wonder whether he wants her to look after him. He's kind of jealous when she gives, not because he fancies her, but because she's giving someone else
time, which I think you can understand in a non-romantic way. I mean, she has been.
It's a bit selfish, though.
It is, but his personality is. I mean, he is an egomaniac. He does love himself, and therefore, why wouldn't he love someone else to love him too? Another good observation, Sam. So I'm detecting you liked tonight's episode.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was really interesting. I think we could have done with maybe not quite a stronger bad guy, but someone who had maybe a little bit more character behind him about why he's doing what he is.
Yeah, I agree.
There wasn't a lot, yeah.
I don't really know what the name of that bad guy was, even, to be honest.
I think they vaguely said, oh yeah, he's a war robot, ... but I think they kind of expect us to kind of fill in the, yes, war robot, I understand, type blanks, which is cool. And, of course, we had that other little glimpse at the Promised Land at the end.
Yeah, did you recognise the man behind the desk?
Took you a moment, didn't you?
Well, I've recognised him from the thick of it.
Yeah. He worked with Peter Capaldi quite a bit in that.
Well, he acted opposite Capaldi, obviously.
Oh yes, that's right. They were like, that was his little kind of mentee. Oh yeah, you're so right. He's also in a set of adverts, isn't he? He's in. Is it car adverts or something? He's in.
Something like that.
Which is cool, and he's a good actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing him doing a little bit more.
I think he's in. I read that he's got quite a big role in the finale.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have put him in if he wasn't going to come back, because he's a known face as well. So I don't think he'd come in as like an extra or a bit part. But it's good. It's cool to have our kind of constant reminders that there is an overarching plot coming in. I think this time it's interesting because these little hints towards the Promised Land aren't affecting the Doctor at all. Like nothing. He's not aware of any of these bits that we're seeing at the moment. So we know there's something coming, but he doesn't at all. What do you think about Sam? Clara? There's been various rumours about whether she'll stay beyond Christmas, whether this is her last series, whether you'd like her to, whether she should carry on. What are your views? Would you like her to carry on?
I want her to carry on, but I have a feeling she's going.
I think I kind of agree with you. I think I would agree. I think she's had a brilliant series, but it probably is best to leave on a brilliant series because then people look back favourably and you have a
They kind of feel like they're slowly kind of winding down a character in this series.
Well, there was that little line just in tonight's episode, right at the end, when Pink was talking to her and said, if the Doctor ever pushes you too far, you've got to let me know. And that's like a red flag for he's going to push you too far, type thing.
Something I think they're going to do is, if Clara leaves, right, when we inevitably get a new companion, I have a feeling that it could be... Remember that person we saw in Into the Dalek Journey? She was.
The soldier?
Yeah, the reason I think that is because she wanted to go with them and it was like, I just wish she hadn't been a soldier, but this episode kind of showed the Doctor slowly kind of acclimatising to the fact of soldiers with Danny.
Yeah, that's a possibility. He might rethink that one. I would have took that just as a way of setting up the Doctor not liking soldiers, but you're right, he might change his mind and might travel back. I believe you've got a website, Sam. Why don't you do a quick plug for that before I bring on our next guest?
Yeah, www.allthingsdoctorwho.co.uk.
So what's that website about then?
So I have like several sections. I have like news where I talk about the news in Doctor Who, some merchandise, Doctor Who legacy, but I also have a features page and every week I post reviews of the new episode.
Well, I do hope there's some adipose on there somewhere, as well as a doctor. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Sam. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show again. Guys in the chat, could we have some thanks coming Sam's way, please? And thanks for coming, Sam.
Alright, thank you.
Take care. Good night. Let's have a look at some of what you guys are saying before we bring in our next guest, who will be Dashy in a second. Oh, but before I do, I do hope you've seen this. Oh, yeah, not Izzy pulling. Testing. Hello. Sorry, that was our beautiful and lovely daughter grabbing the phone cord and giving it a good yank. Let me just make sure that I can hear myself correctly, which means you can hear me correctly too. Testing 1, 2, 3. That's cool. Sorry, I don't know what you actually heard there, but Doctor Who Legacy's got a new code up this evening, which is New to Who code, which gives you all of the cool stuff from this series so far. So if you've got any friends that are just getting into Doctor Who Legacy, or any friends that you would like to recommend Doctor Who Legacy to, then do tell them about that code, so they can get all of that cool stuff there. I don't know how long it's on for, but it's definitely on for tonight. I'm sure it'll be on for the next couple of days. It'll be. You got the Saisha character from last week. You've got the 2 costumes on Vashta and Jenny, the Doctor, of course, and Danny Pink. Ta-da. Right, let's bring on our next guest, who is Dashy, who has been on quite a few of our little shows now, but he is a very eloquent and a good connoisseur of the Who. I'm just trying to get through to his call there. Hello, Dashy. How you doing?
I'm good. Am I coming through okay?
Your voice is like an angel, my friend.
Thanks.
A weeping one.
Oh.
So what do you think of tonight's show, mate?
I'm going to say this. I hate the style of basically the Doctor trying to act human. There's only one example I really like.
Oh, the opposite of Clara. Clara likes those.
Which is the example you do like?
Family of Blood.
Ah, yeah.
But I guess in a way, though, that's not the Doctor acting human. That's the Doctor being human.
Yeah.
But we love the Family of Blood episodes. It's brilliant. So why don't you like that style?
It feels so cheesy to me. It's like it's him trying to get used to everything. I mean, I barely watched The Lodger when Matt Smith was doing all this stuff, and I was like, I suppose the only saving grace is Capaldi managed to bring me back to reality and bring me back to the fact that it is still him. It is still his Doctor.
Well, I don't think he, like I said in my intro, I don't know if you heard it, but I don't think he really did try to fit in today. I think he took the job and he put on the coat, but then he just ran around doing what he wanted, trying to stop the aliens. Like, we didn't. I think someone said to me, I don't know if it was you, Clary, or someone else, but someone said to me that they wondered if the episode was going to be. And I think it was Spud actually. Wondered if the episode was going to be the Doctor like taking over the school and dealing with naughty children and fixing. Using his sonic screwdriver to like improve the school projector and stuff like that. Because that would be like the cheesy comedy Doctor fitting in.
Yeah.
Whereas tonight he actually just got on with it. Did you feel it was still too cheesy for you?
It's basically like the opening when he introduced himself as the janitor, and it went on and on and on and on and on. That was the bit where
it was a very long pre-credit sequence, wasn't it?
I just cringed at that. I was like,
He did like his little eyebrows. But the setup aside, what did you think of the episode kind of once it got going?
Once it got going, it was basically taking me in and taking me out. It was basically stuff was taking me out, but then it was getting dragged back in by Capaldi in that. But one of the things I did pick up, I'm not sure if you did you pick up the Pink Floyd reference?
I'm not sure I'd picked up the Pink Floyd reference even if I knew what it was. Oh, hello. Sorry, Izzy. What was the Pink Floyd reference?
Capaldi whistling. Teacher leaves them kids alone was what he whistled.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes.
I did because I turned to Claire and I said I knew that I knew it, but I couldn't pick it. Oh, was it? Did it do? Was it do? That yeah. We don't need an education. You're so right. It was a Pink Floyd reference. But yes, that makes a lot more sense now because I sensed he was trying to make some sort of point with his whistle, but I didn't get what it was. Cool. So what else did you think about the show?
I actually enjoyed the going on about back to what Sam said about mentioning the Doctor and Pink. I believe Pink actually got it right. The Doctor is acting like Clara's dad, so it's just a case of just trying to find approval and getting it in one of the stupidest ways possible.
And they did quite openly say that at the end, actually, that it was about making sure that he was good enough for her, which is the role that a father would take, isn't it?
But the one thing I really didn't like about that, I'm going to use a term here, Pink jumped the shark. The jump over the robot.
It was a silly jump over a robot. It didn't need a spin.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It was a silly jump. The idea was fine, but it was too silly.
Yeah. Also, when
part soldier, part maths teacher, part PE teacher, part acrobat,
and part trampoline expert.
Yes.
But another thing I really didn't like, from an editing perspective, was when the policeman got killed.
Yes.
That was just too jump cutty for my liking. It was just a case. It was like you got three cuts in less than a second. And it's a case of, that really was off-putting.
Isn't it weird how different people get such different things from such episodes? Because like everyone loved the Into the Dalek episode and we didn't, and I really like Tonight's and you don't, which is great. And it's good. It's good to hear different
people who have exclamation mark questions that they didn't particularly like it very much.
Oh, cool. We'll read some of those comments in a minute. But it's nice. It's nice to kind of hear the counter view. I completely agree with your vaulting one. I have to say, I do like the chemistry between the Doctor and Pink though, and I liked the scene where Pink basically made him out to be a colonel or a general, kind of ordering him around. And it's interesting because, with Tennant's Doctor, people didn't really speak back to him. He was kind of scary in a way, and that people kind of avoided conflict with him. But the Capaldi Doctor's full of conflict, but people seem to give it right back. What did you think of that scene, Dashi, with the tension between Pink and
I really like
Capaldi?
that. I want to see the point where Pink realizes the Doctor has been a soldier and understand where Pink is completely coming from.
Yes.
I want to see Pink's expression at that point, and I just want to see everything fall down. But that was it was a very touching scene with the friction, because you can understand both points of where they're coming from. Yeah.
They're both deeply suspicious of the role that the other one plays. And of course, Clara's stuck in the middle. And I think she plays the stuck in the role, both as an actress and as a character. I think she's playing that role well because she's deeply affectionate towards both. And I don't feel that she's cheating on one with the other. I think she's just trying to find a way to get them both in her life.
I also found, this is going to be another half reference I found, but when Chris Addison, who's also on Mock the Week, as past reference, mentioned the various names for heaven, that kind of reminded me for when David Tennant was in front of the Void ship, and he was basically explaining all the different names of, some people call it the Void, some people call it the darkness, but most call it hell. It kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, is that a kickback to it, or?
Could be. I mean, certainly with Doctor Who, it's not going to end up being a religious thing, is it? It's going to be some sort of aliens removing people out of history at the point they die. There'll be an alien-based explanation rather than a faith one, I'm sure.
I suppose so, but faith in Doctor Who, I would like to see explored a little bit more. We've had the Church of the Papal Mainframe. I would like to see that area explored a little bit more, but I'm not sure if they're going to do it right.
I must admit, I don't mind them having like an alien religious cult, and that being some sort of, leading to some sort of magical thing. But I think as a whole, I think a series like Doctor Who, which is a family show, needs to stay away from politics and religion, and definitely making any kind of judgments on religion, just because it just kicks up such a can of worms, that it's just not. I don't think it's the place for that debate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that, but they have touched on politics lightly. I mean, with Harriet Jones, the Doctor essentially got her kicked out of office.
But that wasn't politics, as in like, should we vote Labour, should we vote Conservative? That was more just there was a politician character, and what I mean by they shouldn't cover religion is, because they had that devil character in the Beast. No, it wasn't the Beast Below. What was it called?
The Beast. No, it wasn't the Beast Within, was it?
The episode.
Yeah.
I mean, but they didn't then tackle that. They very, very gently said things like, well, every major religion has a belief in the devil. But what I mean is, I just don't think they should kind of ever get into that is there a God type debate, because I just think it opens up I just don't think it's the right approach. What do you think, Claire? Would you be interested in seeing them tackle that?
I think it would be interesting to see them tackle it, but do I think they should? Probably not, because that kind of stuff is really divisive.
Because then, whichever way they went, they'd end up irritating a chunk of the audience,
and I guess kind of offending people as well.
Yeah. And I don't think it's worth it. I don't think the benefits outweigh the gain.
If you're going to kind of make points like that, it needs to be kind of on a more factual show rather than an entertainment show.
Yeah. Maybe the science behind Doctor Who. Sorry, Dashi.
It's all right. I think they could just end it with like a generalistic, nice gloss over everything. Basically, a gloss over everything, so nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, they could do it that way. To finish with an ambiguous, what was that type of thing, which they have done in Doctor Who too before. Like, what was that mystery? And that would be fine. I just think it needs to stay away from any great conclusions, and that goes for this afterlife thing as well. I think they could still end up with it being vague. Is that the place we go to when people die? I don't know. I think they just need to deal with it in a way that doesn't cause offense. Same with the that scene that was deleted a couple of weeks ago. I just think a family show which is fun, which has bad guys, is not the place to kind of bring in the real world debates of today. I let Sam promoted his own little site earlier. Dash, are you involved in any other kind of Doctor Who sites or your own kind of work that you'd like to plug on the show?
I'm afraid I'm not.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. No, I just was giving you an opportunity in the interest of fairness. And any other final thoughts before I bring Spud on, Dash?
I'm not sure if I caught the very end of it correctly, but the corridor where I'm going to call her God appears. Is it me, or are there multiple doors? So it looks like the white corridor in the Matrix.
Yes.
That actually. Sorry.
Well, no. I was agreeing with you. Definitely think there's a story to that room, and it was an infinite room, perhaps with infinite doors. I mean, there's a lot of TV shows and even computer games, thinking of Bioshock Infinite, that have used that idea of infinite possibilities and things. So I would be interested in seeing that explored. Yeah,
it is an interesting aspect to explore. If there is only one, I suppose you could take it, if there is only one devil, is there only one God?
There was also that line about she's very busy today, implying something's happening. There's a plot line going on up there as well, because she looked a bit irritated, didn't she, about something? But there was no implication that it was connected to the Doctor or what was going on with that alien or anything like that.
True, but if you take the case of Bruce Almighty, God is busy every day. True. So are you assuming her to be some kind of devil figure then? Because I thought they were going down more the positives, heaven. No, I'm assuming that she is actually she believes what she thinks she is. She believes she is God. Kind of like the Dalek Emperor in the very first season of the new series.
Wow, so God thinks she's the Doctor's girlfriend.
No.
That's promotion from me.
Actually, I never thought about it that way.
but I hadn't made that connection. I guess yes. I suppose if that is the promised land, and she controls it, then that would make her an important figure of some kind. Anyway, Dashi, it's great as always to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hope to hear your thoughts again in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And our final guest tonight is Spud. Mr. Potato. But we need to get some of your thoughts on this. So, Spud, hello. Hello. We're just going to read out some of the comments that we've had from the posse here. I'm just going to put some up on the screen. So what are you guys saying? Matthew191 says, I think this promised land will be a massive... Oh, this poor Izzy. I think this... Oh,
smoker's cough.
It is a little bit of a smoker's cough.
Have you been smoking around my daughter?
No. Has she been smoking?
I've been smoking around my daughter.
Has she? You had your daughter?
What do you mean I had my daughter?
Well, you... Never mind. I think this promised land will be a massive part for the Doctor, but what do you think of seeing this promised land a lot? I like the little references. I like, was it about a minute long? I like the little kind of hints towards it. What do you think, Spud?
I've always been a fan of that. I liked when
Bad
yeah,
Wolf.
I like the Bad Wolf thing. I like the something on your back. I like when something links it all together, but then they have
the sound of drums.
Sound of drums.
Yeah, the woman in the flap, so to speak. We like those, Matthew. Neo Vigilante says, although it doesn't look like the text is working today, I'm not entirely sure why. Neo Vigilante says, don't like so many robots. I have a crush on Missy, and I don't know why.
You have a crush? I don't know why either.
We don't know why. And just, what do you think of the Promised Land? I like it. It's different.
Yeah, I think it's different too.
I like it. I'm intrigued. I think they've done a good job of setting something up without giving us any answers or explanations. And because essentially everything that they've told us so far, we knew from the first clip. Eventually, with the one with the Clockwork Man that went up there, we knew that this is a place where people go where they die. And although there's been other bits of dialogue, I don't think we know anything else.
Drama.
Well, but I think it's a teaser. Are you
teased?
Spud, are you teased?
I am. You know me. I come up with my crazy fan theories. So there's like about 4 different possibilities that I've already thought of, but I'm sure none of them will be correct. But I like it. I like when everything's revealed because it makes me want to tune into the final episode and the whole heaven thing. I was listening to what you were saying before. I don't think it's going to be religious because the Doctor is he's against. He just doesn't believe in religion.
The explanations are always scientific,
and he always kind of really dismisses it, especially the Tennant's one with the I can't remember the name of the episode. When it was the fish guys against the other people, and they were actually only alive for a little bit, and they were like, a creation theory. No, that's our religion. Yeah, everyone has one. Yeah, whatever. Stupid. It was that kind of thing. So I definitely don't think it's actually really going to be heaven, but there will be some sort of alien explanation. So I agree with you on that one.
Alvin1104 says the episode was very meh, as in I felt we'll need to explain the word meh.
I think we've got it. Thank you.
Is anyone unclear on the word meh? Let me spell it out for you. M-E-H. Meh. He says the episode was very meh. Sometimes I thought it was getting interesting, and then something ruined it. Danny was off too. One moment I liked him, but the next I didn't, and it continued over and over until it ended in not killing him. No, not liking him. Sorry, just read that completely. Ended in not liking him. This is my least favourite episode now. Well, I guess this is a good point for me to ask you, Spud. What do you think?
I liked it. I liked all the little references. I haven't listened to the whole of your stream, but have we mentioned the...
I'm sorry, you what? What was that? You haven't listened to the whole of the stream?
I'm sorry, but I'm very tired from London, and I didn't know what time anything was happening. I didn't even watch Doctor Who until half an hour after it started, so apologies. Will you forgive me?
Unlike.
It's not going to happen. I'm going to hold it against you.
Okay, right.
It's fine.
Well, I like it when you hold it against
next time I come around your place, I'll be like, well, I haven't made the whole journey.
I'm a mile from you, is that all right? Yeah, so I liked the Pink Floyd reference. That was funny. When he was like having a sarcastic dig at her for being so...
Oh, you got that? We must be just terrible at picking up tunes.
The river line made me mark out. got a dirty look.
What did he say? It went past very fast. And I was aware he said river, but I didn't.
He
get
said
it.
he had to live with Oz for a month or a week or something along those lines because I had once me and River had an argument and then he went off. I can't remember the rest of it, but the fact that he mentioned River, I was like, yeah, connections to the old Doctor, yeah, and I did like that. And then I got a dirty look from Mrs. Spud because I nearly woke up the baby. Yeah, that kind of.
Do you think that story was supposed to be true?
I don't.
Like within the realm of Doctor Who, like was he taking the mick, or was
No, I
it?
reckon it was true.
All the Doctors.
I want to see that episode. The Doctor living with otters.
All the Doctors. Actually, no. Eccleston's Doctor didn't, but Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi so far have all said these crazy stories, and you're like, what? Did that really happen? I'd love to. I'd love to find out what happened there. Like when Tennant's Doctor came out of the TARDIS and the Uda waiting for him in his finale, and he was just saying all these things he did in between the episodes. It's like, what? I want to see those episodes. What happened? Imagine the Doctor, and it must have been Smith's Doctor. I'm assuming it's Smith's Doctor living with Oz. Brilliant.
I think they're just teasing you to go and buy the books or read the comics or play the games.
Hopefully.
Jen Devine says, I'm not entirely sure what I thought of the episode. I liked it overall, but I think we've had enough of the robot-y aliens now for a while. It's getting boring. I love the Doctor,
What
though.
did you think, Spud, of the robot-y aliens?
Well, he doesn't know what we said about it, though, so because he hasn't watched the rest of the stream. My point was that the robot was irrelevant because it wasn't about it. Clara agrees with Jen, I think, that she's roboted out.
Well, two things. I think the robot looked, and I think I mentioned this last week or the week before, the robot looked so much like a Mass Effect character that it was distracting. And number two, it feels like they want to have the Cybermen and the Daleks on there all the time, but they can't. So they just go, should we make enemies slightly like the... Yeah, I mean, even he had his little compute solution. It's like, oh, what delete, that kind of thing. It feels a little bit lazy. I liked him, but there's so many characters like that one. And me and Mrs. Spud were talking about it. It's like, oh, another robot, another killer robot. But the big killer for the episode for me, which has gone off to do robots, and I don't know if you've mentioned this, I hope you have, because otherwise, what the hell, was the ridiculous flip. What was that about? Why didn't he just...
Dashy pointed that one out.
Dashy called it jumping the shark in Doctor Who. Jumping the TARDIS.
Just ridiculous. It was. Why didn't he dive to the side? Everything else within... And you know this, Addy. If something makes sense to me within its own universe, then I don't have a problem. Like Spider-Man crawling up a wall, fine. Spider-Man flying. What? Well, that makes no sense. It's crazy. Why? No one would do that. I don't care if you can actually do that in real life. You wouldn't do it when a killer robot's trying to shoot you, would you? You just wouldn't. You just dive.
It would have been fine if he didn't flip in the middle. Like if he just dived over the robot and like done a forward roll as he landed.
Or just sideways and scurried round and then held Clara afterwards. I like that. But that... I mean, that's the only big problem
It was strangely edited as well. I think I might need to go back and rewatch just the jump because it was almost like he suddenly reappeared, didn't he? Like the idea was he had the watch on, wasn't it? And he very suddenly reappeared, almost so quickly so you couldn't really see it. And then there was that bizarre jump. I mean, it must have taken quite a fair bit of camera trickery to film as well. I mean, I guess I'm guessing there's some sort of green screening, and obviously the robot wasn't really there and things.
No, he did that. You could tell he really flipped over the robot and did a song. It's quite obvious what happened.
Well, I think maybe we should message the actor and ask him how many months and years he had to train for that particular half pike. I'm just sad he didn't twist. He didn't twist while he did it.
Yeah, I mean, what an amateur! I would have twisted. I know about me. Definitely.
Yeah. I would have held a pom-pom in each hand as I went over.
I would have just landed on the top of the robot's head and then did another jump off the robot's head. That's what I would have. Sorry.
Right. 99 Thermo says, I really liked the episodo and the whole drama. Episode 07. I really like the episode and the whole drama stuff, although the enemy wasn't really a threat, which is what I guessed from the beginning. It was still very good. I think that's my thoughts on it. Is it was a good character-driven episode that kind of had an enemy in because you need one in Doctor Who, and it gave them a threat to kind of deal with, and for the Doctor then to kind of deal. You know the camera's on you. Then we've got Daniel Ricker. What's your view on Clara being the Doctor's conscience, as she stated in a line in an episode? They do keep feeling the need to state their relationship, and this is a very, very minor niggle, but I think it's quite clear what her role is for the Doctor, but they seem to find the need to kind of openly kind of go, she's this. The carer line was funny. She cares, so I don't have to, but we didn't then need things about the conscience. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree.
I think she is to an extent the Doctor's conscience, and I did like the whole. This is a school. This is a school. What the hell are you doing? This is a school. Which was good, and again, perhaps showing that lack of a coldness of the Doctor. What's your view, Spur?
Well, as we were talking about earlier, remember I said he's quite manipulative. I can't even say that. I'm too tired. Sorry. Damn it, London's made me tired. Yeah, there was a case of that, but I liked the character development and the situations and that it was presenting between the three characters. I liked when Danny was talking to the Doctor, and they very much get each other. And I think the Doctor doesn't like him because he probably doesn't like him because he's a soldier and he was a soldier, and he's feeling bad about all the things. Even though I don't know why as much, because now he knows he didn't blow up Gallifrey. That's like, why is he still carrying around that burden with him? But anyway.
Well, we also don't know what else happened within that Doctor's life.
During there's lots of stuff that, Tennant, he said he saw so many horrors before that point that led him up to that point. So I think that's why he doesn't like soldiers, and he's definitely projecting that. But he can also tell, I think Danny can tell he's a soldier, and he said it, he's like a general, and he was once the president of Gallifrey, so there's definitely a higher up tone to it.
He's been an important chap.
Exactly.
There's various people who have posted questions to do with theories about what Missy is and what heaven might be.
Hear mine.
I'm not gonna post those. I think they're really interesting, but I'm not going to post them up because I think people don't. I don't want to be responsible for giving out any kind of spoilers or. I think it's good to keep kind of guessing that one. Obviously, if you want to read about theories, I'm sure you can Google them. I'm sure you can ask people around. But thank you for them. I'm not going to go too much into detail on those. Let's see what else we have here. Doctor Who fan says, is Moffat lining up the Promised Land in the same way they did Bad Wolf? Oh, yeah, definitely. It's definitely little snippets at the time. Big reveal. Like you say, I think it's definitely where we're going. George Campos Gaming. Do you think the Doctor could possibly revisit Courtney in the future and possibly make her the next assistant? Courtney's was the problem.
Child, yeah.
I think I saw her in the trailer.
In the trailer for what?
Next week's episode. I think they were on the moon or something, weren't they, or planet, and there was another astronaut with them that I thought looked like an older Courtney.
Oh right.
So my guess is that what she saw in today's episode makes her go and become an astronaut, or makes her get into astronauting, and then they have to go and rescue her in the future in some way. That
wait and see.
That was just. But this is one of the reasons why I don't like trailers, because if I'm right, then I've actually pieced together a plot development in that one, and probably then ruined it for everyone else. My bad. Spud, views on what I've just said?
I don't want to say anything that I think I noticed that you may have not noticed and spoil it for you. And I think I also know what I think. A couple of weeks ago, you said you like a trailer where you don't actually know what's going on, when it just tells you the very basic storyline, like the whole "we're going to rob a bank," and that was the end of the trailer.
Or the Doctor's a caretaker. But tell me the bit that comes before the credits in Doctor Who, and nothing else.
But this one, I think I know all the main points. I could be wrong, but I mean, there was a bit where the Doctor voiced over a bit when it was, flashing between the action-y bits of next week's episode, and it was like, wow, okay, so I've seen that. I think I've put this together, so I don't want to say anything. Sorry.
So yeah, but then I should pause before they do the trailer bit. I think. What's the point of them trying to keep it offline and going mental when people post things online when they're going to do a trailer that shows you too much about the episode?
I'm the opposite though. I love the trailer, because when I'm watching it, I don't think about what I think's going to happen. I'm like that with film trailers, unless they're ridiculous and they just show you the whole film.
Oh, I can't stop it, because last week's with the bank vault, there was a clip in that trailer where the Doctor and Clara had a door open in front of them, and they both peered in, like a vault door open, and they both peered in. And I picked up on it straight away, so I knew that they ended up, and it was just the two of them as well. The door opened, there was just the two of them, and they opened a vault. So I knew all the way through that episode when I was watching it that whatever happened when they got to the vault, it was only two of them.
I didn't think about that. I probably noticed it at the time. I can't remember, but when I'm watching something, everything that I thought previously, I forget. So even though if I saw a scene, I don't look at a scene and go, I saw that scene in the trailer. Oh, well, this is probably going to happen next.
You're a lucky man for having such an empty head.
So simple, I forget things.
Whereas I'm always thinking, always pondering. But yeah, that's why I don't like the trailers, because especially when you start to see a scene that you know you've seen another scene clipped from, then you kind of might know how the scene might finish and stuff like that. But that's just my personal mind. I know others like the trailers, and I can always pause, I guess, if I wanted to avoid it. Anyway, so that was The Caretaker. I hope you guys have enjoyed our detailed review and discussion. Thank you so much for the code from Doctor Who Legacy, from Spud for joining us, for Sam Har for joining us, for Clary for joining us, for Izzy for squeaking along, and to Dashi for joining us as well. It's great to have you guys on the show, and thank you to you guys that are watching for all the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, you're welcome to comment below the chat and continue the debate. And for those of you who are here at Twitch live on a Saturday night, thank you for giving up a little bit of your weekend to spend it here. My guess is that if Doctor Who stays at 8:30, then the show will have to stay at 10, just to give us that little gap between shows. So the new time for the show will probably be 10, whilst the Doctor is at this point. Thank you, Spud.
My pleasure.
Mrs. Pose has actually wandered off with Izzy, so thank you, Mrs. Pose. And I'll see you boys and girls soon. You have been fantastic. Do you know what? So was I. Good night.